This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, January 16th, is a Canadian icon in a sport which you don't think that Canadians would be that good at. And that is snooker. Not pool, snooker. The difference between pool and snooker are the balls. In pool, you have 15 balls to pot. Or is it 16? Can't remember. No, 16 numbered balls. No, 15 numbered balls. And you have to sink the 8 ball at the end. And in snooker, you have pink balls, brown balls, blue, black, lots of different colors. But anyway, this guy is a good snooker player who actually was and is the only world champion from North America and the first snooker world champion from outside the UK. He actually went to 2 finals as well. And he's a legend and all that. He actually won the 2018 Seniors Masters at the age of 70. He has retired from competitive snooker since 2022. He's known as the Grinder. He is Cliff Thorburn, who is 76 years old. Thorburn was born in Victoria, British Columbia. His parents had separated, his mother abandoned him, and he was in an orphanage for a few years, but his father and paternal grandmother would raise him. He would play pool and lacrosse in his youth and would do quite well and all that. He was accepted as a professional in snooker in 1972. He traveled to England in 1973. And Thorburn would face Alex Higgins in an impromptu match. In the 1973 World Snooker Championship, his first major tournament, he did beat Dennis Taylor, which was a shock because of how Dennis Taylor, 12 years later in 1985, won the Snooker Championship, but lost to Rex Williams 16-15 in the second round. He ended up losing the first round of the 74 World Championships. He won the 1974 Canadian Open, beating Dennis Taylor. He would get to the quarterfinals of the 1975 World Championships, losing to Eddie Charlton, and was shocked in the first round by Alex Higgins, 15-14. So once the Crucible in Sheffield in the UK had it, the first World Championships was in 1977. In qualifying, he crushed Chris Ross. He took down Williams 13-6, and in the quarterfinal, he needed to beat Eddie Charlton in the final frame. Took Dennis Taylor to the limit in the semifinals, winning 18-16, and then 12 hours later he had to face John Spencer in the final. Spencer actually had a 4-2 lead at the end of the first session, and then they did the second session, and Thorburn came back to tie it at 6. In the third session, it ended up being 9-9 after the third one. In the fourth session, Thorburn had a 13-11 lead and extended it to 15-11 before losing 4 straight frames. In the end, John Spencer did beat Thorburn 25-21, which isn't bad. I mean, Thorburn becoming the first Canadian and first player from North America to make the final of the World Championships. He lost in the quarters of the 78 World Championships, and he won the 1978 Canadian Open, which was great. He retained it in 1979, winning the last one. But in 1980, things changed for him. He did his job. He faced Chris Mountjoy in the first round. He was down 5-3 in the first session, but he still won 13-10. In the quarterfinals, he beat Jim Boyce 13-6. In the semifinal, he took care of David Taylor easily, making it to the second final at the Crucible, where he would face Alex Hurricane Higgins of Northern Ireland in the 1972 World Championship. Higgins was up 9-5 before Thorburn would win 4 straight frames and 9-9. And a frame of snooker is that the highest total you can get is 147. You have 147 points that are on offer. The first to 75 4 points practically wins the frame, if you will, and certain balls have certain points. Anyway, the third session ended at 13-13, and in the final session, it was hard pressed and all that. He ended up winning 18-16. And it was huge and all that. 14.5 million watched the final on BBC, which was amazing. Thorburn is regarded as the first player from outside the UK to win the World Championship. Not the last, but the first. So anyway, Higgins actually said of Thorburn he's a grinder, and then the nickname was associated to him for a slow, determined style of play. He won the Canadian Open in 1980, and then got Canada to the World Challenge Cup final against Wales, losing 8-5. He crashed out in the semifinals of the 1981 World Championship, losing to Steve Davis, who was an icon on his own. And then lost the first round in 1982. He decided to return to Canada. But he did much better. Anyway. So anyway, Thorburn would take care of Griffiths and then Kirk Stevens in the quarters and Tony Knowles in the semifinals. Both times actually being one frame away from being eliminated, but he won. He would face the legend Steve Davis in the final. Davis crushed Thorburn 18-6. And it was just easy and all that. Thornburn's performance in the final was terrible. I mean, after all, he had to come back twice from being one frame away from elimination. Anyway, Thorburn would have form by 1985, making the final of the Grand Prix, but losing in the final. So anyway, he tried his best and all that. And in 1988, he was banned for a couple tournaments because he had traces of cocaine in his urine sample. But anyway, Thorburn last qualified for the World Championships in 1994. He effectively, by 1996, retired from snooker and all that. So, anyway, yeah, he's the father of 2 children. One's transgender. He bought a house in England following his World Championship thing. All that. His manager actually was killed in a hunting accident in 1985. And was managed by a few other people. He was made member of the Order of Canada in 1984. And in Canada Sports Hall of Fame in 2001. He had an instruction book called Cliff Thornburn's Snooker Skills. And is pretty well regarded. Winning 2 ranking files, the 1980 World Championships against Alex Higgins and the 1985 Matchroom Trophy against Jimmy White. He won 18 titles in non-ranking championships. Winning many events. Winning 4 Canadian Opens, 5 Canadian Professional Championships against his fellow Canadians, 3 Masters in 83, 85, and 86, and 2 Scottish Masters. He did help Canada win the 1981 World Mixed Doubles Championship, the 1982 Team Classic against England, the World Cup, and the World Cup 1990 beating Northern Ireland. Yeah, World Team Classic was with Bill Warbenek and Kurt Stevens. World Cup 86 was with Warbenek and Stevens. And 87 as well. And 1990 it was Chaperone and Robidoux. So yeah, snooker is a weird game to master and all that. I don't have the pool or snooker skills that a lot of people have. But anyway, I try and I fail. But anyway, Cliff Thorburn was a Canadian world champion in a sport that people don't really learn. So hey, oh Canada baby. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.